Oh, there we go. Now we're live.
Yeah, I think there's a little delay before you guys see it.
Mine says live.
Cool. So far, so good. We'll give it another minute or so. I'm sure someone will get on eventually.
I have two people for sure. I think for sure they're coming.
Yeah, we've got people climbing on now. Okay, I am going to...
All to kind of set up, so.
Okay, so do you guys only see me even if someone else talks?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good. When we're all talking, it was like flickering back and forth and it was distracting, so I'm going to try and stay on top of that. All right, guys, we have some people on with us, so we're going to go ahead and get started. It's already 5 after 8, so we don't want to keep everyone all night. Welcome. We are so excited to have you guys here on the call with us. My name is Candace McDermott. I'm a diamond coach with Team Beachbody, and I will tell you a little bit more about myself here in a bit. But first, I want to introduce you to the other girls. We have with us Cozy Folsom. She is a newly branded 1-star diamond with Team Beachbody. And we have Miss Melissa. Melissa, what's your rank right now? Are you 3-star now?
2-star. 3-star.
Okay. Awesome. And we have Megan, and I believe Megan's a diamond like me. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome sauce. Okay, so we are from all different walks of life. We all have different situations. Some of us work, some of us don't. Some of us are moms, some of us are not. And we love getting together to do these calls because we can just kind of give you a taste of what this business is like for anyone from any background, from any life situation. It can work. So hopefully you can kind of connect with one of our stories and hopefully get your questions answered. Before we get to the Q&A portion, we're going to go ahead and share just a little bit about our stories, but more specifically, we'll each share a different portion of the coaching journey that has touched our lives the most. So I'm going to turn the time over to Cozy, and she's going to kick us off.
Okay. Am I good?
You're good. Get her done.
Okay. Okay, so first off, we're just gonna keep it kind of short so that we have plenty of time for you all to answer or ask questions at the end. But I just kind of wanted to talk about coaching maybe when you're not at like your goal weight or anything, because a lot of us think that when we coach we have to be this super fit person that has to like no one's gonna want us to coach them, but in reality, because believe me, you guys, I thought about this for probably a good year because I signed up to coach and didn't do anything for probably a year. And it was because I was too afraid because I wasn't where I wanted to be, so I thought no one would want to listen to me. But once I kind of got over that, that's when I actually like started to not care what people thought and realize that I can relate to people. I can't relate to everybody, but I think that like all of us started somewhere different, and so I mean I had a decent amount of weight to lose, and I still do. So it's made it easier for people to connect. Like I could connect with different people than maybe other people could because I know how they feel. Like I know how you feel when you can't fit into your jeans or you try on everything in your closet so that when you are going to dinner you feel confident. So I know how that feels, and so I can relate to different people. And also I think one of the biggest parts is it has helped me stay accountable. Even people like at work or school, I know that they're watching me, and so it helps me to make better choices food-wise. So if people bring donuts to class or cookies, like I know half of the people there see me on Facebook posting about all this stuff. I don't want to be a hypocrite. So I'm gonna pass it by. So that helps me a ton for mostly accountability. And then I also know, like, yeah, like I said, we are all different, and so we all know how different people feel. So it's easy to connect with different people. And really, that's, I don't know, I've come to realize that maybe your closest friends, maybe your family aren't the ones that support you the most. And I mean, eventually they do because they love you. But I think that you don't realize how much you can impact someone else's life, a complete stranger, that just, I mean, sometimes it's easier to open up to a stranger than to someone that you're really close to. And so you connect with them on a different level. And then from there, you can continue to, like, grow together, if that makes sense. And so that's been probably my, like, number one that I've gotten over, that I don't need to be this crazy fit supermodel type person, that I can talk about things that I, you know, that I struggle with, and then also I like share what's worked for me, and vice versa. I learn from all my challengers. I learn from all my other coaches every day, and I hope that they do the same. So for me, that's helped me the absolute most. Yeah, so if you have questions at the end, write them down, and we will help answer them. So Candace, I think that you are up next.
Awesome. Thank you. As you guys are listening to each of our different takes, our different perspectives on this business, just know that we are all experiencing some of the same things. What Cozy has just talked about with her fitness transformation, I've gone through the same thing, and it's been the best accountability for me to reach my own goals. You know, so even though we're each talking about different aspects, we're all experiencing these benefits in our lives. For me, one thing that I love to talk about the most, the changes that this has brought into my life, is mental and emotional change. When I first became a coach, I was the classic Debbie Downer. My name probably should have been Debbie because I think it was named after me. I could find the negative in any situation. I came into the business completely skeptical. Actually, I only came into the business for the discounts, and only for 1 month. I was going to go all in for another month so that I could say I'd done the whole 60 days of my program and I could prove that it didn't work. I just was completely skeptical. I was negative in every aspect of my life, and I didn't see it. I actually thought I was a pretty optimistic person. Anytime someone talked about depression, I was like, I'm good. You guys just need to smile a little, go have some fun. You know, I was one of those people. So as you get into the training as a new coach, you're encouraged to begin personal development. If you've not heard of the term before, it's the process of reading books, listening to books, listening to podcasts, and basically just filling your mind with, for lack of a better word, they're self-help books. And if you're anything like I was, you're like, oh, geez, that kind of stuff. It was just froofy, weird stuff to me. So I pushed it back, and I was like, I don't need that for a long time. And my coach finally just kind of made him and said, if you want to go anywhere with this, you've got to do this. So I finally picked up a book. The first book I read was The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. That's a really good place to start. It's not too deep. It's not too serious. There's lots of stories. You can pretend you're reading a novel, and it's pretty short. So I actually fell completely head over heels in love with personal development from that book forward. It just completely changed my mindset. It changed day-to-day life. It changed the way that I reacted to a lot of situations in my home and with the people that I deal with in my life. I just was a much more positive person. And another thing that personal development has done for me is that it has helped me to learn to love myself more than I ever have. As women especially, I'm sure men do it too, but we know as women we're the hardest on ourselves. We're always the hardest on ourselves. we are always down on our accomplishments. We are never good enough for ourselves. And that has been a big part of my journey, is learning that I am unique and I am special and I have value. And that's something that I continue to work on, and it's something I encourage each of my clients, each of my challengers to do, to read something that will help them see that they are truly special no matter their size or shape. And I've seen some really incredible transformations with some of them in the way that they have changed their mindset. One of my more recent books, it's called Year of Yes, if you want to try it out. It's a really fun one to listen to. It's written by Shonda Rhimes. She's the writer of Grey's Anatomy and Scandal. So it's really kind of entertaining because she's talking a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. But I have a quote that I wrote down. I was listening to it on audio as I was cleaning and cooking in the kitchen. So I have this nasty notebook that I write recipes in. And I had to stop and write down this quote because I had to have it. And I look at this every day now. But she said, everyone's got some greatness in them. But in order to really mine it, you have to own it. You have to grab hold of it. You have to believe it. And that, for me, is what personal development has done. It's helped me to accept my own greatness, to accept the possibility that I can achieve my greatest dreams and that they're not just pipe dreams. So that is probably the biggest blessing that has come into my life from coaching. And as a coach, you will be encouraged to just constantly grow as a person, as an individual, to become
Uh-oh.
Well.
We're still live. We're still live, so
Yeah.
it sounded like
keep
should I just go ahead and go?
Yeah, I think her internet cut out, so just go ahead.
Maybe she has tornadoes there too.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Well, I still see it live. You guys seeing it live? Maybe let's ask the group real quick.
Yeah, mine still says live, so I think we're good.
You're on the actual call too, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I've texted some of my people and they said they're on and they see us.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I know now. They did earlier, but my daughter took my phone.
Oh, okay.
No, I think it's good, Melissa. I just think Candace got cut off.
Okay. All right, well, I'll just kind of pick up since it was my turn next, and it sounded like she was wrapping things up anyway. So I want to kind of start by talking a little bit about why I became a coach. And to be honest, there were a few reasons, and I think that both Candace and Cozy touched on those already a little bit, but I was in a place, I just had my second baby. We were really struggling financially. I did not enjoy going to the gym anymore. It was really I just felt really judged, and I wasn't in my best physical shape, and I was just not feeling it. I wasn't enjoying exercise, and that was really a huge part of my life before having kids. I grew up playing sports and doing all of that. And so when I heard about Beachbody, I was kind of the same as Candace, and I was like, no, I don't think that would be a good solution for me. So I was like, no, I'm just going to do it on my own. I'm going to go running. I'm going to do all these things on my own. And for 4 or 5 months, I was trying to lose this baby weight and just wasn't really seeing that quick of success. And so finally reached out to my friend that I'd seen posting about it. And at this point in our life, we had a ton of bills from having our second baby. And we didn't have a lot of money. We were living off of a teacher salary, and my husband was working in fast food, and we really just didn't have a lot of extra to do anything with, and we weren't able to do a lot of the fun things that I'd always dreamed of doing with my children. And so when I decided that I was going to give this whole at-home workout thing a shot, I just decided I was going to go all in. Okay. I was like, I'm just going to give this a shot. And you know what? Why not have other people do it with me? They'll hold me more accountable. And it'll be a lot more fun if I have friends and family and whoever else that wants to do this, do it with me. So I decided to become a coach and jumped right in. And I can tell you, 2 years later is the best decision that I've ever made in my life. It's changed our lives for the better in so many ways, but especially, and it's kind of weird to say this because I never imagined that it could be what it has become, but it's completely blessed our lives financially. And I say that because we really came from a place where we literally lived paycheck to paycheck. I'd have to wait to go to the grocery store until payday, and I'd have to wait to do all these things until we had enough money, and then I felt like it was just drained all of a sudden, you know. And so when I started coaching, my goal was really, I just want to pay for our groceries. I want to pay that extra $200 or $300 a month for our groceries. And that first month that I was a coach, that's exactly what happened. And I remember getting so excited and calling my coach and being like, I am so grateful for this because we paid for our groceries this month, you know, and it doesn't feel like, you know, we have a little bit extra. We have just this little bit more that is really blessing our lives. So I was just so grateful to her for taking a chance on me, and it kind of fueled my fire. And I fast forward 2 years later, and I think about where we are. Okay, so I'll just kind of pick up a little. I'll backtrack a little bit, but not too much. So I don't know exactly where it cut off, but what I. Oh. Do we want to mute everyone but me, Cozy, until we open up for questions?
Yeah.
Do you know how to do it?
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh.
Okay, so I'll just start chatting right now because it sounds pretty quiet. So, really what I was hoping to at least share is when I very first started coaching, my goal initially was just to cover our groceries. Like I wanted to just make enough where, you know, we could make $200 to $300 extra per month and pay for our groceries and kind of take that bill and not have to worry about that anymore. And month by month, as I continued to coach and as I continued to grow as a coach and help more people, I started to see that my weekly checks were growing. And now what I was initially making per month was my weekly check. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. I just paid for my groceries this week alone. Now I really want to pay for our groceries and our car payment. And so I started focusing on just continuing to help more and more people. And, you know, that's really what coaching is all about. It's a direct reflection of who you help and how many people you're working with and how many people you're helping to hit their goals. And, you know, that's going to be a blessing to you in a financial way. And not only that, but I think it just feels so good to know that you're making a difference in someone's life. And, you know, that's a big deal for me. I work full time and, you know, I don't necessarily need to do this anymore. I've got a job that would be, you know, be fine and we'd be okay with that income. But it just is so gratifying and I love it so much. And it's so fun. You know, like Candace said, you know, the PD and the self-growth in the, you know, the way that it affects you as an individual and how you grow as a person is so invaluable. I mean, you cannot put a price tag on that. And with Cozy, you know, talking about the physical transformation that she has had, you know, that's something that I feel like all of these things as a coach, you're going to see benefits from everything that we're talking about tonight. It's not only going to bless you with self-confidence and with a physical transformation, but there are huge financial blessings. And really the sky is the limit. There's no cap on what you have potential to make. I just this year was able to match my full-time job income as a Beachbody coach. And if you would have asked me, I mean, that really wasn't a goal of mine initially. My goal was to just help our family a little bit. But at this point, like, to be able to say that and to think about that and what that really means for us, my goals have changed in that I really want to create a life for my kids and for my family where we can do the things that we, you know, that bring us together and that create memories and that, you know, just totally change the way that we're able to grow and love and learn together and just be happy, right? So I'm going to turn the time to Megan and let you kind of wrap things up and talk about your deal. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay.
Okay, so am I unmuted? Can you hear me? Okay. So what I get to talk about, and you guys, you probably can tell, like, kind of like an underlying theme and what everybody's talked about is all of the internal changes that happen. Like, it's easy to, like, take a picture of, like, a before and after, or to take a picture of, like, the difference in your income. But the thing that I think is the biggest and the underlying theme in all of the coaches that have talked tonight is the internal change. And so what I'm talking tonight about is the relationships that you're able to build as a Beachbody coach. And for me, number one, it's been my relationship with myself. I've only been a Beachbody coach since November of last year. And honestly, like, it's like crazy to think of where I was then and how I am now. And just like the difference in relationship I have with myself, with my kids, with my spouse, and then just the relationships that I've developed, like relationships that happened, I don't know, like I've come back in contact with people that I haven't talked to in like 10 years from high school, from places that I used to work. Anyway, so first I just kind of I want to touch on something that I think is a big fear of sometimes of people, of getting into businesses where you feel like you're having to sell something. And that was one of my biggest fears because relationships are so important to me. And so I talked to Melissa about this when I first started to be a coach. Melissa is the one that inspired me and got me into this amazing opportunity. But I told her, I was just like, Melissa, I don't want to be the type of person that you walk into a room and people kind of like avoid you. Like, I'll say Mary Kay, even though some Mary Kay people are awesome. Like, I'm not saying they're not awesome, but I just didn't want people to like be afraid of me. Like, I didn't want to come off as like in your face, this is my thing, come join me. And what I've loved so much is that Beachbody, they like support me in that vision and just like simply sharing my journey, sharing my life, my family, my kids, and just really teaching me to be relatable and to like focus on the individual and not to focus like on the product. And although the product we have is amazing and is life-changing, but it's just like, I love that the focus isn't on the dollar amount. It isn't on all that stuff. It is on the relationships that we're able to build with people and the lives that we're able to change. And so like, that's really what I love. And just like to kind of give you like a background to me, I've always been like a very like typically very happy person, but in November I had like really hit like right before I became a Beachbody coach, I had really hit like one of the lowest points in my life. I was just like, a lot of things had changed for me that year. I was like the biggest I had been for a long time. I wasn't meeting my goals physically. I was actually working with a coach before I became a Beachbody coach that wasn't Beachbody. And I wasn't like, it took me like 4 months to lose 7 pounds. And I didn't feel like me. I was kind of overwhelmed by being a mom. Like, I love being a mom. Like, it's definitely still my number one priority. But I was just overwhelmed by the responsibilities of it. My husband was gone a lot. I had a 3-year-old that was like a 3-nager. She like turned into a crazy person. And And so I was just like overwhelmed of like, what am I doing as a mother? Am I good enough? Am I teaching them the things that they should be learning? I had just moved across the U.S. away from my family, away from what I thought was my dream job, which I still love that job. I'm a nurse, but this honestly has fulfilled all of those things that I love about nursing. What I loved about nursing is the fact that every single day I went to work, I knew that I was making a difference in somebody's life. And that's what I get in this. And so anyway, I was at a very low point, and I actually asked my doctor to put me on an antidepressant, which had never happened. Like, if you guys know me, the ones that are on here and know me, like, you know that that sounds nothing like me. Anyway, I didn't end up being put on the antidepressant because I found out I was pregnant, and then later I ended up having a miscarriage. But at that same time is when I finally reached out to Melissa. I had actually been like Facebook creeper stalking her for like 6 months. Like, didn't even like or comment on a single photo of hers, but I watched her every single day, and she inspired me on a daily basis. And she had something that I knew that I wanted, but I didn't quite believe in myself yet that I had what it took to get there. But what I can tell you now, that now I know that, like, all these things that these ladies have talked about, the personal development, the spending your time on yourself every single day by exercising and feeding your body the things that you need. Like, the amazing thing about Beachbody is every single part that it teaches you, it's teaching you to be a better you, which then inspires others to be a better them. Like, it's a natural effect of the things that happen by spending time on yourself each day. And so now I'm like the happiest I've been in a long time. I didn't have to do medications. I didn't have to take antidepressants. And I feel like a super mom most of the time. I mean, my kids are still crazy, but it's just like I've regained that. What are you saying? Somebody's saying something with these texts. Anyway, but I don't know. It's just changed my life in every aspect. And I just think as moms, like, not all of you are moms, but I think just even in life in general, like, we typically are doing so much for other people, like on a daily basis. Like, we're working, we're cleaning our house, we're making dinner, we're whatever. Like, we're continually serving everybody else but us. And so by the end of our day, our cup is pretty empty. And so what Beachbody has done for me has inspired me and motivated me to take the time for myself each day, which then enables me to be a bigger contribution to others. So I'm filling my own cup every day. And so not only am I creating these like amazing relationships with like all these people that I work with on a daily basis, but I'm creating a relationship with myself that's like incredible. Like, I'm finally like tapping in to the person that I've always been able to be, that I just didn't know or believe. And so I don't know, as mothers, I feel like we need relationships with big people. We need to, sorry, my daughter's coming to join us. But we need relationships with big people. We need to feel like we have something outside of our life, and we need to feel like we can do something for ourselves each day. Like, we deserve those things. And so, like, I honestly am grateful every single day for the decision that I made that day to reach out to Melissa. And right now, like, there's like a tornado like a mile north of me probably. But like, honestly, I wouldn't rather spending my time with anybody else but these ladies on the last night of what could be my last night of my life. Not really, but honestly, like, the relationships that you develop, like, are just incredible. The relationships that you'll have forever. The relationships that you'll cherish and have for your entire life. So if this is something that you've been like thinking about and on the fence about, like, I encourage you, just like jump in, give it a shot. Like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You can always pull yourself out. But I say, if you're even thinking about it, it's worth at least giving it a try. So I love you. And I am done. Vamonos.
Cozy unmuted everyone but herself. All right, guys. So that is our little spiel. You know a little bit about us. But now it's your turn. I know we have some questions in the group, and we will go ahead and address those. But you can also click on the little chat button down at the bottom and type any questions that you have there. and then we will try to get to everybody. Okay, are you guys in the group? Do you want to go check out questions?
Yep. There were quite a few, so let's.
Yes. This is the noisy part of these calls.
Yeah.
All right, so here is a question. This is from my girl Kelsey. Looks like you're still muted. So let's talk a little bit about this. There's a couple of questions, and they're so good. So the question that, and I've heard this a lot before, Kels, so trust me, you're not the only one who asked this. How do you keep up the motivation to coach and to be involved in coaching? Sometimes, you know, the success doesn't come right away, and so it gets discouraging. And so kind of what are some of the things that keep us motivated as coaches to continue when there's not immediate success? Does anyone want to answer that or talk about that? Or?
I can answer some of it.
Okay. Yeah, because that's kind of good for you.
Yeah. Well, for me personally, I kind of got out of my head that I'm going to come in and be successful right off the bat, because most of the time it takes a while. Like a lot of people say, like, be here in 1 year. You should give yourself a year to like really start seeing a lot of success. And I'm not saying like personally you're going to feel way different, but I mean like in your business. And that's kind of what I just had to get out of my mind, like that it's not instant and it's not this quick fix. Like you get out of your mind that it's not this super quick fix thing. But for me, it also helps to like keep up the motivation is switching things up. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do it. You can do your own thing. You can, if you find something that works good, like you should go and do that, because I mean, I think that that's what makes us all different. There's so many coaches. It makes us different when we're all doing things a little bit different. And even like all the events, that helps so much, because they do like called Super Saturday every 3 months, so quarterly. Our retreats that we have like as a team, stuff like that, where we can go and like all hang out and be together, and you're surrounded by people that are going through the same things as you, like physically, emotionally, and also like in the business, that it's just kind of refreshing, and it kind of like kickstart everything again. Every time I go to an event, I'm just like so pumped after. So I think that's what's helped me the most, is just all these little things that just keep coming around. But
yeah, totally. I agree with that 100%. And then her other question, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about this. It was, how do you find people or coaches to go under you without being kind of salesy? And honestly, I was like, that was the last thing I wanted to do. I did not want to go bug my family. I didn't want to go bug my friends. I didn't want people to be like, oh, she's going to, you know, ask me to buy something from her. Like, that was not my intent at all as in becoming a coach. My intent was to provide value or get people to do something with me so that we could all be accountable to each other and have that place of friendship and positivity, and somewhere that I didn't want to be the salesperson. Like, I'm not a good salesperson, right? And so I've always stressed, and I always stress with my team, like, don't go and try and sell someone something. What you want to do is talk to them about how this has changed their life, because it has. And if they can see that this is going to work for them, they're going to do it with you. And if you can provide a place where they can check in and they can be held accountable, and they're going to have the tools and the resources that they need to be successful, it's going to work for them, and it's worth every single penny. And I would even argue that it's worth more than what we pay for them. Because you're able to continue to use these programs over and over and over again. And you're able to, go back and do some fun workouts that you maybe haven't done in a while. And you can build up your library so that you can work out on your own time and do whatever workout you want to. It can be yoga. It can be a HIIT workout. It can be a lifting workout. It could be anything. And you don't have to rely on a gym. You don't have to rely on when it's open, or if your kids are going to be awake from their nap, or if your husband's going to be home to watch the kids, or if the daycare is open, or, there's all these different things. And honestly, I've never really reached out to anyone and been like, hey, you'd be such a good coach. Like, that's just not how it works. What happens is they see what you're doing, and they see how happy you are, and they see how it's blessed your lives, and people want that. That's something that they want in their lives too. So I've never really had to worry about the whole salesy thing, because it's just not how I choose to be. I know there are some coaches that are like that. And, I think all of our team Inspiration, and all of these girls who are on this call tonight, it's just not how we run our business. Our main goal is, number one, to help someone. And I don't know if you guys want to add to that, I think it'd be good. But
I was just going to say, the reason that our team doesn't do it that way is because we're all trained together. We have a training website that every new coach gets access to, and we're going to help you. We're going to teach you how to make this a part of your life and how to share it without being salesy. So, you might hear all this lingo, share, not sell, and, don't be salesy and all that, but you're over there going, well, yeah, but how do you do that? We will teach you that. We will help you with that. We have top coaches in the company who will help you with that. So that's one of the things I love the most about this business, is that no one is alone. No one is alone. Even if you were to sign up under a coach who's not really doing anything, you can reach up to the coach above them, or the coach above them, or anywhere in your upline, and they will be happy to help you to get your business off the ground. So you're never alone, and we're going to help you learn how to do it right from the start.
Yeah.
And honestly, and we are trained, like she said, we're trained this way. If you are focused on the sale, it's not going to work. It just, I don't know. I can think of countless other companies that are like multimedia led that are trying to sell. That is just it's about the sell. We are not trained that way at all. We are actually told, if you are focusing on the numbers and the sales and trying to get people that way, it's not going to work unless you are 100% focused on the individual and really your own personal journey. That gets to be part of the reason. That gets to be part of your why of being a coach, is focusing on your own journey and just sharing that. And then that's what's people, and just being real in your posts, sharing about the struggles, the hard and the good, just so people can really relate to you. Because, becoming a coach doesn't mean that all of a sudden your life is happy doozy all the time. There's still struggles. There's still things that you go through. And so it's being real and connecting with people, because people aren't they're not buying the product. It's more that they're buying you, really. It's you that they're coming to, and it's you that they're connecting with, and it's you that they're inspired by. And so that's really what they're investing in. And so it's about being yourself. It's about sharing your story and being you, and not being any other coach either. Just staying true to who you are.
Yeah. And I think that you kind of just have to get in your mind that you're not Beachbody. You share a healthy lifestyle. And if that is, and with all the programs, it's no crazy diet with it. It's stuff that you can do your whole life. It's not stuff that is just, they have the 3-day refresh, but that's 3 days. Everything is something that you can make a lifestyle. It's not something that you do for 5 days and you quit, So I think that it's more just you are sharing a healthy lifestyle, and you're not just sharing Beachbody. If someone has, a question or wants to go do a class at the gym, then I always say, yeah, go do it. Those are fun. But for me, I like to just do it at home, because then no one can see me and I can just roll out of bed and go. But if someone wants to do that, then I always encourage them to. So I think it's just sharing a healthy lifestyle. So
yeah, totally. So I think Stacy kind of added a part of a question from someone else about social media and how you add new people to your network and how that all works. The question kind of talks about being selective about who you add on social media, but in this business you need to be open to attract new customers. So does anyone who wants to kind of address that?
I actually just was working with one of my newest coaches on this because she was trying to decide if she was going to sign up, and she was really nervous because her husband is a police officer. So she was really worried about taking her Facebook public and, just publicizing her life and all of that. And her situation is really unique. Obviously, in that situation, you're going to take extra precautions. But we all, if you're moms, even if you're not, Cozy's single, she doesn't want to be advertising her address, So we're all going to take certain precautions. We're not going to post our address. We're not going to show pictures of the front of our house if we're being careful so that people don't really know how to find us. So that right there, we're protected. Also, I don't check in. I know it's popular, but when you go to dinner, when you go anywhere, you just don't check in. People don't need to know where you're at every hour of every day. So some of those precautions can help you feel a little bit safer about making your stuff public. There are other things you can do. You can set certain posts to where only your family can see them, that sort of thing. So we have ways that we can help you feel more comfortable with that, which takes us to, okay, I'm comfortable opening up my Facebook. I want to add new friends. Where do I find them? So many places. This is another part of our training. We talk about this almost daily in our team pages. But, if you think about it, so many people that you are not friends on Facebook with. Old classmates, childhood friends, old neighbors, old coworkers that you've just never really reconnected with. It's not weird to add them on Facebook. It's natural. It's completely natural. That's what Facebook is for, and the same with Instagram. So we always suggest you start out with that. Go to distant family and old acquaintances that you have not connected with in a long time and just add them. And then beyond that, we always have different ideas. We join a lot of groups on Facebook. It's all about the groups. Different, whatever your interests are. I am a DIYer. I like to make things. I'm a crafter. I'm LDS. I'm a mom. So I join groups that follow those interests, and you just converse. You just chat with people, and you just participate in those groups, and the friends will come naturally out of those. I don't know if you guys have other areas that you want to share of where you find friends.
Well, I just want to add to that because I had a coach, somebody that's interested today talking to me. She's like, so what do I do? Like, I don't really have that many friends on Facebook. I know my family won't be interested, and I don't really have that many close friends. But I just want to say that honestly, most of the people that have reached out to me are people that I'm not currently super good friends with right now. They're friends from a long time ago. Even, for example, Melissa, I didn't even know who in the heck she was. But
never met before.
I had never met Melissa before until December. And but she knew a lot of my friends. So like Candace said, it's natural. It's like somebody adds you on a friend and you see that you have 25 mutual friends. You're like, oh, I must know them from somewhere.
Yeah, I had played volleyball with her cousin. So we I don't even know how we became friends, but it was kind of through that. So.
Right. And so it's just like Candace said, it's just natural. And most of my people that have joined my team or that have joined my challenge groups have not been really close friends. They've been distant friends from long time ago that are just random Facebook friends that I have. So you never know who's watching on your Facebook thing.
Yeah. So this is a really good question that I just found. One of the girls asked, her husband doesn't think that this is a good idea. So what can she tell him or show him to kind of prove that it's better than the It Works or Mary Kay or Pure Romance types of network marketing businesses?
I would say just the whole having it your healthy lifestyle. I would honestly, I'm not married, but if I was, I would just say, let me do this for me. And I would just everybody needs to do stuff for themselves. Especially, I almost feel especially moms. I feel like moms are constantly doing things for other people all the time. They're always doing stuff for their husband or they're doing stuff for their kids all the time, and they put themselves on the back burner. And if you just spend 30 minutes a day on yourself in the morning or before you go to bed or whatever, like I can guarantee that you're going to be a more like patient mom. You're going to be better. You're going to be easier to get along with because you had a few minutes by yourself, or you had a few minutes to take care of yourself. You're going to feel better. And so that's what I would suggest too, because my brother did not really support Micah for a while. And she did it anyway. And so, but he started to like realize, okay, like this is making her happy. And what's the difference of spending $140 on something that lasts a month that you can eat every day and a workout that make you feel and look good, than going out and spending $50 on a brand new pair of pants that you wear a couple times and maybe you don't feel that good in anyway. Do you know what I mean? So like, I feel like it's okay to do something for you. And I guess you would just try to explain that to him and hopefully he would agree.
And to add on that, the great thing about becoming a coach, most of my coaches are actually just discount coaches. So if you're doing it for yourself, like you're starting the exercise program and you're wanting to drink Shakeology for yourself, it's actually cheaper to become a coach, like month to month. And so you could be doing it for yourself, and then, it's not costing you any extra money to try to just see how the business side of it unravels for you. It actually costs you less money to do it that way. So,
yeah. Kind of a long-term view on this too. When you look at the other companies that are available, It Works is really popular right now. Unique, Jamberry. There's all these other MLMs. They're fun, they're cute, they're exciting, they're getting really popular. But do you really need them? Does anyone really need some vinyl stickers for their fingernails? Does anyone really, truly need to wrap themselves in saran wrap? And is it really, truly going to make any difference? These are extras. They're fun products, but they are not needed. The products that we have are helping us to make a change that is absolutely crucial. Our nation is obese. I think it's like 70% of our nation that's obese. We have a rise in diabetes, a rise in cancer, a rise in heart disease, all of these diseases that are linked to being overweight. So it's not just that we need to take care of us. That's first, that's priority. But the entire nation is dying for something to save their lives. Literally, these programs and these products are saving lives. And when we go to our coach summit in Nashville every year, we get to see the winners, the grand prize winners of the weight loss challenge. Some of them have only lost 30 some odd pounds, and some of them have lost 150 or more. But we get to hear their stories, and we get to see a glimpse into their lives, and we can see that it has literally saved their lives. And that's not something you're going to get from any other company. It's not life-threatening if your nails are not perfect, but we're in a crisis. We're in a health crisis, and we are helping one person at a time to correct that.
No, I 100% agree. And the more I learn, like in school, about diseases, so any cardiac disease, so many diseases are from being overweight and unhealthy. And you can also be a thin person and be very unhealthy. And I think sometimes people don't understand that either. You're only as healthy as your cells are, So I think that it's so much more than just how we look sometimes too. And so many of us will, drink 5 cups of coffee a day to get through the day when, one's probably enough, where, Shakeology personally has helped me a ton with my energy. And so I just think that it's like all connected. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so is there anyone who has questions that's on the call that we haven't already kind of touched on? Candace, the 2 books that you talked about, The Compound Effect, or were the other?
The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, and I'm going to type them for you. And Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. So really quick, there's another question on Facebook. One of Chelsea's girls wants to know, her life is really busy. They're getting ready to move. She's going to be packing up. Should she wait until she has more time before she decides to become a coach? Melissa, I feel like you should address that.
Yeah.
Working full-time. And Cozy, you guys have so much on your plates right now.
Yeah, Cozy is just as busy as I am for sure. You know what? When I signed up to coach, I was a full-time teacher. I was coaching the volleyball team. I was a full-time mom. I was trying to be a good wife. We weren't moving, thank goodness. That is stressful.
Yeah.
But I do feel like when I didn't know when or how I was going to fit it in. And honestly, it just kind of happens, and you've probably heard this a lot, but it just kind of happened in between the cracks. When I'd wake up a little bit earlier so I could do my workout at home. I wanted to do it when my kids were sleeping, and I worked full time, so it wasn't like I could do it during their nap time. So I'd just wake up a little bit earlier, about 30 minutes earlier than I normally would, so I could get my workout in. I'd go to school, and when I was walking down to lunch with my friends, the teachers at my school, I'd be posting about what I was having for lunch, something healthy that I was eating for lunch. I was posting my workouts. I was checking in with my challengers. In that 5 minutes that I was walking to lunch with my friends, I'd just kind of do some check-ins, have lunch with my friends on my walk back to my classroom. I'd do a little work there. And I hate to admit it, but it's kind of true. Whenever I go to the bathroom, I'm like working while I'm peeing. And that sounds kind of weird, but it was really just like any kind of little break that I had. It did never feel like work to me. It wasn't like I felt like I had to do that. This is a second that I have to breathe and to do something for me and to enjoy what I'm doing. And so honestly, it was like just fitting it in these little cracks. When I got homework, I was a mom. I didn't want to be taking away time from my kids. So I hang out with my kids. After they went to bed, I'd spend about an hour checking in with challengers or checking in with my coaches. And then I'd go to bed about 10:30, and that's kind of just how it worked out for me. And so I probably altogether spent maybe 1 to 2 hours a day working my business. And now I have a little bit more time with my new job, but I maybe spend 2 to 3 hours a day is all. And I've really been, to think about that, I've really worked very part-time hours, 2 to 3 hours a day. If you can swing that while you're moving, definitely this would be a good time for you. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. You just need 1 hour a day where you can really sit down and focus and just knock everything out. And then I think that it works okay that way, The
cool thing too is it doesn't matter what time of day. Like if you have to do it in the middle of the night and then catch up the next night, that's fine. You can do this whenever you have a minute. And for me, when I have a really busy day, being able to say, I need to sit down and work for 20 minutes is like my lifesaver. I look forward to that. That is my vacation from the crazy.
Yeah. No, I would say that everything, you can make it work in even 30 minutes a day if you're like being consistent with it. And you don't want to sit and be on your phone 24/7, but that's why when you sit down to work, you are focused and you get it done. Really, like if I want to do my power of threes, I can do it in 30 minutes easy. So, and that's the thing with how lucky we are on our team is Micah she has everything laid out where we don't have to do all the trainings. We don't have to, we have a place to put our new coaches where they can go through all the trainings. And same with even every level of coaching. We have all that in line so that we don't have to reinvent that. And so that has helped a ton with time and not having to do all that personally. And I do it, I try to do it before class. I'm in class and really I don't get much breaks during class. We'll get a 10-minute break here and there. And I'll sometimes jump on Facebook. Lots of times I won't because then I feel rushed. And then I just do it after class. So it's kind of that's the beauty of it is it's how much time you put into it. That's, what works for you and the time of the day, whatever works for you. If your kids come and they're being all crazy, then you stop. It's not a big deal. So
Yeah, totally. Were there any other questions that were in the group?
No, the group's done. Do you want to answer Kelsey's question out loud?
I sent a message. I don't know why it says keys. I think it's just something else. Sorry. But honestly, in those 30 minutes to an hour, yeah, you can say that's right. I'm just kind of going through my challenge group and checking in with my challengers, kind of commenting on some things, posting what I've done for that day, checking in with that group. I check in with my coaching group and make sure my coaches have all the things that they need. We have a calendar and all that stuff. And so making sure they're up to date on everything that we're doing and that they know that I'm there for them if they have any questions and answering any questions that have been posted in the group, little things like that. I also will be following up with emails or messages. I use the Facebook Messenger voice messages a lot because I do that when I drive to work. So I have about a 35-minute commute. So all the way there, I'm either listening to some personal development professional development is for teachers. That's just ingrained in my brain. But I'll also just message challengers or, just use the voice message so that I'm not having to text while I drive because that's not safe. You don't do that, right? So yeah, and I just will get on my phone and just hold the record button and send a bunch of messages and check in with my people. And it's also nice because then they get to know you as a person and hear your voice, and it's not just texting and messaging and all that stuff. So I'm trying to think.
I think it's okay for people to wait a while too. If someone sends you a message, as long as you get back to them in 24 hours, that's fine. You don't need to feel like you have to get back to everybody instantly. So
totally. That was a huge misconception I had initially. I was like, I've got to be on my
phone. Write everybody back.
You don't. And they don't expect that either because they're not going to respond to you right away either.
Yeah. So you that is what is awesome. You do it when you can. Just have to do a little bit every day. You have to be consistent with it. So,
Yep.
Is that good?
Totally.
I think we got them all, guys.
Okay. Well, if you have any more questions, just ask in the group, and we will do that. And also, we'll post a couple of videos that kind of help explain, even how you can make money and how kind of that works too. So, and how you can, or I guess, message who added you to the group.
Yeah, you can message
specific questions.
I know I'm going to be chatting with my girls, so we can reach out to you too.
Okay.
And are both of the recordings right? Is the Google one still going to work?
Yeah, it worked right up until it cut us off.
Okay.
So,
that works.
People watching the replay already.
I'll change this one.
Yeah.
And I'll post it. So, and then Melissa, are you doing the?
Yeah. So in the group, in the Facebook group, go and comment if you haven't already under the questions, and we're going to be picking for every. How does it work? What did we decide? For every, if you attended or if you commented, what was it?
I don't know.
I don't think we talked about it.
No, whatever you would like to do.
Just comment.
Let's do anyone who comments before
just make sure you commented so we know that you attended, and we'll put your name in a drawing, and we're going to be giving away P90X. Woo!
Awesome.
Kind of in, honestly, I wanted to give it away because next week or March 1st, Tony is coming out with a new program. It's called 22 Hardcore, and it is kind of like a quicker version, a little bit more intense, based off of a boot camp type workout of P90X. So that'll be kind of fun to have and something to work up into with 22 Hardcore. So
sweet.
Comment there, and I'll make sure I get everyone into a hat, and I'll record the drawing so you guys can see who wins, and we'll announce it tonight.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Awesome. Thanks, lady.
Have a good night.